Hello guys, glad to have you on board again on that Thursday. This one is probably going to be quick as well because I have things to tell you about, but we're not going to make an intraday trade scenario today simply because I think, and that would be today's argumentation, that there is no thing to trade because a highly dangerous context may be at play in the next following days. But I'm going to get into a little bit more details right after we clear the cryptocurrencies for the cryptomaniacs. So and this one will be really quick as well. We're basically doing absolutely nothing. I got myself in here, like I said, we had that pullback, so I got in here and I said we're probably going to just die in between that area which is supporting, so that bullish trend line, and the bearish stop hunting pattern, or the bullish stop hunting pattern we had in here, and probably just going to die in between until we figure out a solution and an exit out of those two boundaries. So for now we're holding support, we're both holding resistances as well, so there's nothing to talk about. We're basically contracting prices into some kind of triangle structure. The release out of that structure will give us a direction to follow. I still have shifted balance to the upside, but who knows? I mean, the market does whatever it wants, and any upcoming news, disappointing news, or whatever shit this is, it could be just changing that game. So not enough confidence to be more aggressive, so I'm still buying speculatively in here, but until we manage to validate the trade, I remain uncertain of whatever is about to come. So I have a bullish bias, and I'm just waiting for the market to prove me right or wrong, and only future will tell. So in here, if you're trying to play gods, you're just gonna be wrong. You just wait and manage the risks. As for now, there's nothing to manage, so there's nothing else to say. Let's move on to more interesting stuff. Yesterday I've been pushing the bearish buttons on the assets I told you about, those that were yellow on the portfolio's color. So I got myself bearish on Microsoft, Google, Netflix, Amazon, and Boeing, but just dipping a toe in here. All right, it's really just like that. Very tiny position sizing because we got no signals or no strong signals. We're just trading interesting prices area below resistances in a bear market. So I got myself in just because I don't want to have to trade support breakdowns afterwards. I rather like to sell below resistances and wait for the support breaks down to occurs to reinforce. I want to have confidence and decent prices to be able to reinforce and not just getting in by breakout trades. All right, so I take tiny speculative trade positions, so I'll be able to reinforce a little bit safer into eventual breakdown trades that may occur later, if they occur, which is still very uncertain at that stage. I didn't took the trade on the VIX and neither on the FTSE, so we're going to clear the FTSE right instantly. FTSE is not because I don't think this one is bearish, it's just because that one is already too bearish for me to get in. I teach you guys not to enter any trade in the 50% lower part of the trend channel when you're trying to sell. So this is the only area which you could have eventually forecasted a sell. I don't think that was enough to me, even though yes, that was yesterday the same timing I got myself to sell, but the thing is that I didn't thought this would be enough. I should have, because basically that's the best reaction we had to the bear side, but I don't feel it that way, so I kind of decided to just wait for further informations in here, even though that would have been a good trade. We had the signals and everything we needed, but too low. I mean, if we went a little bit higher than that, I would have sold with a stop loss on top of the previous market high, but selling in here with a stop in here to target just that support to secure the trade kind of not enough to me. So we'll see about what is about to come. I think we're trading first support area on the SPX as we're trading in here, and I think the market is very likely going to find a support because of that freaking fucking VIX, which is highly manipulated, and this is going to be today's market topic. So first we're going to clear up another thing. So AUDNZD, clap clap, we've got the trend trade. Yes, I know it can be surprising. It can sound like at some point this is like God's making things. When I say something and this thing happens, yes, but at some point that's how it goes. So we've triggered, or we are about eventually to trigger a stop hunting pattern in here. So just be aware that if this thing really happens to trigger, we're trading that candle, so it isn't going to validate until 28 minutes. But if it does validate, you can see it's popping up and out. So we're going to see if these things happen in context. It's going to be kind of a concern. It means I'll secure my trades, probably just a 5 to 10% profit taking, just because it has to go straight up in here. We just need to fuck up this this context. But if it triggers stop hunting in here, we may have to retrace. So 5 to 10% out just to buy the support again. Okay, but I have absolutely strong confidence that this thing is not going to stop. All I believe is that now that we freaking built the bottom, we've broken up resistances, we're going to have the opposite same stupid trade as we had in here, but this one has a lot more bullish potential than the bearish one. Even though how crazy bearish AUDNZD have been for the latest month, I never ever fucking change my mind. I still tend to believe this thing is bullish and has a huge bullish potential over the long term. It's just that kind of trade has to be built for 1 to 2 years time frame scale, and I'm projecting myself ahead of that, and I assume obviously that many of you guys aren't able to figure out a trade that lasts for 2 years, 2 to 3 years. When you follow this on a day-to-day basis, yes, that can sound really crazy, but you need to have that bigger picture in perspective, and that's the only reason why I never give up, because I still tend to believe this thing is probably going to be my biggest trade ever in my entire trading history, and I'm building myself on top and ahead of that potential gain. But obviously if I had to manage my risk, you knew all of my concerns. I mean, on a day-to-day basis I'm making those videos so you guys can see how I shape my ideas. When do I change my mind? For what reason? What leads me to change my mind? What just leads me to keep on going the same way? How I damn manage the risks. That's why I'm doing those shows, so you can see how it goes and how it behaves in a trader's mind. And as you figured it out, I may have a high level of certainty at some point, or confidence, I would call it that way. But it's not overconfidence like I told you yesterday. It's really important that you get to figure out that balance with your own personality. If you're going too much confidence, then this is the highest level of danger you could have in trading. And on the opposite side, if you're a switcher, you're obviously going to the wrong side as well. So anyway, that being said, AUDNZD going great as for now, and we'll see how today's candle close will be looking like. But if it does, we're going to break through a bearish signal, which is once again bullish breakup confirmation. Remember that the bullish signals when you try to buy are good signs. This is the signals you speculate on. When you see double bearish signals and you're a buyer, you manage the risks, which I've done. And when you break through a double bearish signal, that's a breakout trade. That's a confirmation trade that the market is trending, is ignoring the bearish signals, which is good. I mean, the bears should have control in here and they don't, which means we, bulls, might have more control than we expected. But that's the forecom. Nothing is closed so far. So today is a good sign, but has to be pushed through all day long with a candle close, and has to be confirmed tomorrow as well by another update. But if we close a candle like that today, you can bet that tomorrow is going to be bullish as well. All right, so VIX, and this is going to be today's major topic. So on the VIX, Sorry. So, yes, we clearly can see that something is not pricing normally. Just have a look at the 4-hour chart time frame. We can clearly see that freaking manipulation. I mean, that's so obvious that at some point I think this is even stupid to just manipulate prices just that way. So we can clearly see, and I'm seeing this for months long. It's not the first time I'm picking this up. We had huge manipulations on the volatility that has been ongoing all along 2017, 2018 as well has been kind of suffering some manipulation, and apparently 2019 is going to be the same fucking thing all over again. So we have people speculating on a very, very low liquid asset that is the VIX. So they're speculating VIX even though it shouldn't be. And apparently the party is keep on going, which means we're going to have probably some market making at play in the next following days. What does that mean? It simply means that the market makers are just shaping the market the way they want. The way the liquidity is asking for. So we got too much bears. You know what? Yes, we're probably bearish, but we're going to fuck up those who do that the wrong way first, and we're going to sell those prices. We're going to sell their stop losses. Okay, let me figure out what that actually means. And you can really clearly say that the market has been like trend channeling in here, but stupid trend channeling, okay? The kind of trend channel that just keeps on going like it's mechanical. It's algorithmic. So yes, this is definitely algos that I've been defining. We're going to sell from here, and we're going to go down to there, and we're not going to even fucking stop in between. We're just going to manage the risk, but we're going to do this like an algorithm will do. It's just driving the market from point A to point B and not even figuring out that this is nothing like any human behavior. It's that kind of trend. No human is doing that. It's just freaking algorithms. So yes, means the market is self-driven by some kind of forces that pushes him from point A to point B, and it's defined at the beginning, which means it's not the market who is self-deciding what prices it will take. It's somebody or someone or some algorithm or who gives a fuck about what is being defining this. All we care about is that the market isn't free making decisions. The market making, the prices making, the price making process is just driven by some forces, which is not normal because it should be happening that way, but that's how it is. I mean, that's 2 days trading. That's the 2000, let's call that the 2020s. It's maybe the new mood to manipulate the market without even giving a shit about hiding the way you're manipulating this. You're doing this plain open sites, not even hiding that shit. Like it's normal that we have manipulated markets nowadays. But I mean, that's not my point. I'm not here to judge the market or any stuff like that. All I'm just doing here is just assessing something that is so obvious to me. Free market? No, don't, please, no longer. It doesn't happen. Yo, the free market isn't like that. We have to assess those manipulation. They're coming a lot more frequent recently, and I see that trend of market manipulation increasingly manipulation, but that's how it is. If today's market has to be that way, then you just live with it. I remind you that we're not here to play Robin the Hood. We're just here to freaking take a little bit of money on top of the entire financial system that might not be perfect, obviously isn't, but there could be worse as well. So, anyway, market manipulation to me just says one thing. We're gonna probably have a market making happening, if not already, on the area. Why is that? Because it's the same freaking pattern showing up again than the ones we had previously on the stock market. Volatility is under control. Gold is under control as well. Do you see gold breaking up? No, it still isn't. It feels like it's under control. It's been compressed to avoid people getting in and out of this. We might create a final up and down move. We don't know, but what if, for some reasons, it goes down? I mean, you're going to be surprised. Yes, definitely you will, because risk is increasing, the gold should go up. Why the fuck isn't it doing? What the fuck isn't it going up? And the VIX should go up as well? Why isn't it going up? Why is it contracting in some kind of triangle? This is exactly what I think is about to happen. We're just going to buy us some time, because time makes money in the market. That's exactly how it is. Time is making things look a little bit better than they actually do, because the market always has a tiny bullish bias in the overall trending. I mean, in long trends, the market will always be bullish. It's just that at some point, each 8 to 10 years, we have a problem that causes the market to pull back. So this is exactly what we're having right now, but the market still behaves the way it feels like trending, which means we're still trying to figure out the same patterns, which means how do you react when things are not pretty? You just try to buy yourself some time and you're just going to get it over with. It's not going to work out this time because we're probably bearish market trading right now, but yet still the same stupid reactive patterns are happening in here. Anytime we have a problem and we're having concerning valuations, the market tries to buy some time thinking that things will just figure them out all by themselves. It could be the case, let's be honest, it could be the case, but I really doubt that, as normally in a bearish market we're going to have strong bearish demand, below resistances, simple as that, no matter how long we're going to stay there, and that's where I think this could be tricky. I still tend to believe that we're getting into that big selling area in here, but that's a huge selling area. I would say as long as we remain on top of that area, 2600, and as long as we don't really break it down strongly and firmly, we have that damn problem with the VIX. VIX is under resistance, so if for some reasons VIX were to be sold, gold were failing resistance once again and breaking support, what do you think is going to happen? Obviously the stock market is going to rebound. Why? Simply because if you shut the doors on safe havens, obviously the money isn't going to go out, and we're going to have short-term risk traders who are going to buy this out. It's simple as that. It's what we call freaking market making, which means yeah, I like to use the word manipulation, because to me, I feel that word could be fearing or causing some fears to some persons, but it's just like nowadays you can't use the word recession. It's like the forbidden word you can put out. I mean, fuck it, just call things the way they are. I think we're kind of shifting into potential recession trades, so bearish market, and we're also having strong market manipulations ongoing, and yes, freaking use the right word. So that's the way I feel that. I say it. I don't know. I mean, I'm not in the tiny papers of those guys, so I don't know for sure that there is actual manipulation. All I can tell you is that that's stupid to make that in pure plain sight with such little amount of hiding. I mean, manipulation should at least try to hide themselves, not just doing that the way it is. I mean, so we'll see how it goes, but I still tend to believe that inside that strong bearish area, we could just have, so that's a scenario, okay? And I'm going to get to the conclusions in the end. Just first, I'm getting into the arguments to get to the conclusion. Sorry. So what I think we might be able to do is just, we have that latest bearish trend channel, so coming out of the latest two bottoms ported to the latest resistance, and as you can see, we're trading that area right now. We're trading the bearish context, and we still didn't really manage to get the fuck out of here, so which means we're still trying to grind our way down. I think that bullish support trend line coming out of the previous lows is probably going to hold, which means I think we can just contract in here. So before we get there, which is the same target I have for the bear trades in the SPX, because I think the actual next swing is VIX rising again, stock market falling once again, and then we'll see how far this goes. But first, I think this is the move I want to get myself into, because I think this is where the lowest amount of risk is going to be. But in between, if we do have some market making, what tells we can do something like that? Contraction and outburst. If we do that, what do you think is going to happen in the gold? Okay, if for example gold, who's already been contracting like that, is trying just something like that. If gold is doing something like that, it's just going to be a fucking range, okay? And worse than that, if we just do even this, we go straight down, what the stock market is going to do. What do you think? Obviously, if we've got bearish demand on gold, we've got no demand on VIX, and we've got For example, the yen keeps on consolidating because we're clearly consolidating in here. And we've got a lot of room to keep on doing this. First retracement is next retracement is in here. So we're going to have a look at this price. But if the market makers are going into manipulating the market again, which means in here, instead of buying, they're going to push selling to get to the next support. If we do just that, we've got a bearish, okay? We go straight line in here, just like we've done in the VIX, which means they're going to just self-drive this market, automated drive, give us getting in here, automated autopilot, okay? We autopilot getting in here. They drive us point A to point B, straight line without even managing the risk in there. If we do this, we've got bearish yen, gold bearish, or at least retracing and trying to break some supports, and we've got nothing happening on the VIX, kind of a flat line trying consolidation. If that happens, do you think we're going to have sellers on the assets, on the risky assets like the stock market? Obviously we won't. We're going to have a market self-grinding its way up just the same way. So market making could really be a thing in the next few days. That's what I'm wanting to warn you guys about. What does that say? Do you have to stop selling? No, obviously not. What does that really mean? That you're going to have to manage your risk with really, really great risk management. Okay? When the market makers are at play, all it says is that things that looks obvious won't be obvious. They will just fuck you up. You're going to have a really tight risk management, because if you get yourself into the red zone, you're going to be stop hunted, and that's what I would like you guys to avoid, because when the market maker has stopped hunting you, I know you're going to doubt, you're going to move to stop loss, take some stupid decisions, and you're going to get stopped, which is obviously what I would like you to avoid. So how do you react to stop hunting? Purely and simply, you do a great risk management. Knowing that the risk is there, you always take tiny position sizing. You don't get too aggressive, because the higher is the number of contracts you're executing, the closer the stop loss will be. And you want to keep large stop losses. So for that simple reason, you're going to lower the position sizing just to have some room to work with, because if market making shows up unexpectedly, then you'll be able to react, manage the risk, push the stop loss further away without putting yourself in the red zone. What is the red zone? When you take too much risk. When instead of risking 2% loss on your capital for that trade, you're getting yourself into pushing the stop loss further away, and it costs you 5 to 6 to 7%, which is not acceptable. So this is one of the red zones you shouldn't get yourself down to. Second option, the market just never goes down. That's an option. Do you really think the market has to go down? No, it isn't. We never know. We're not here playing gods. We're always managing the risk. So I think we got strong possibilities to go bearish in here and take low risk bearish gains. But if I'm wrong, and if the market just keeps on going up, you need to stop your scenarios at some point. And that stop must not cost you more than 3% loss. So manage your way in. That area is a 3% spread area, 3 to 4%. So if you're trading more than a leverage one in here, you're already in the red zone, all right? Because we could very well go just there. Would it be a problem? Absolutely not. Will the market still be bearish? Yes, absolutely. It could very well do this. And if the market decides to market make ourselves for just a couple more weeks, would that really change the overall scenario? Absolutely not. Will this fuck whoever is stupid enough to trade blindly and stupidly? Yes. So don't be among those guys. Try to take a more rational decision than others. I tell you, high level of risk of potential market manipulation, call it however you want, but manage the risk accordingly is actually the message I'm trying to send you guys out there. That being said, that's all I had to spread today. So I hope you learned quite a few things, and I'll see you tomorrow with the answer. Either today we're going to break that support pure and simply, and means the market is bearish, no questions asked, or we're going to just hold that support, die in between, and probably going to try chasing some stop losses by tomorrow. But tomorrow morning, I have new information, and probably it's going to help shaping my confidence and helping to balance the scenarios. As for now, I'm pretty much 50-50% chances, as we have bearish signals suggesting we're mature enough to go bearish, but I see some problems regarding the VIX pricings and things like that, suggesting as long as I don't see support breakdowns, I don't want to get too hungry, too greedy, and consider that's a war and battle a little bit too early. Bye guys, see you tomorrow.